桜額に輝く V と V ストップゴッドの悪巧み父の叫びは波の音怒りのライドに引き抜いて X ライダー今日も行く仮面ライダー XX
Hello, everyone. Crazy Wednesday we're having. 2 rider shows for the price of one night.
And no, you are not wrong. There is a reason why we're doing this now. But we won't get into that because, again, what is God? What is Smart Brain? I don't know.
Yet another parallel between X and Phi's.
We're going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Believe you,
we are.
I am. I kind of was scratching my head the whole time watching these last 4 episodes, and it's just like, I have more questions than answers.
Mm-hmm.
I was more confused than I was with how Phi's ended. But then again, I give it the novelty of like, well, this was the Showa era. So if Godzilla taught me anything as a child, you could blow up an entire infrastructure, half of a city, and everyone just is like waving bye-bye, bye, bye, like happily ever after. I'm like,
and in this particular case, inside a Zeppelin.
Yeah, I'm like, did you not see that half of the country's in the nuclear fallout? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
Yeah. So we're here to discuss the final 4 episodes of Kamen Rider XX episodes 32 through 35. And yes, that means that with Kamen Rider X soon to be in the books, we will be spinning the wheel of destiny. Bam, 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 bam. Bum, 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 bum.
It is coming for Wheel-kun.
Yeah, coming for Wheel-kun. Stay away from Truck-kun because he knows the secret of the tunnel. Secret tunnel, secret tunnel.
Yeah,
secret tunnel.
He'll either run you over and wind you up in a mystical world, or he'll go in a tunnel and come out as a Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, because a Volkswagen is kind of Dermata friendly.
But again, a semi-truck transforming into a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
You went from spacious to very compact.
Yeah, it's a very odd batch of it's a very odd season. But I have to say, if we were gonna do any Showa era season first, part of me is glad it's this one. It's easy, it's to the point, and it leaves you scratching your head just enough times for you to have a bald spot.
I will literally say, despite me and how I am, I will say it has been a pleasure and an honor being a part of this review. Being part of what is essentially a part of Toko history and also history of the medium in Japan in general. Because, as we've said many a times, in all media that is today that comes from Japan, you see the Sentais, the Kamen Riders, the Ultramen in anything and everything, whether you know it or not. And every single time that they reference a rider, an ultra, a sentai, it's always the first 4.
7.
It's always the first 7 for the Ultramen. It's always,
first 6 Ultramen, first 7 riders, and
I mean, for the Sentais, I guess you could go up to, I want to say, Go, Jaka, Sun Vulcan, Battle Fever, Genjiman, definitely.
Yeah, see, like at least I could say that Battle Fever, Denji Man, and Sun Vulcan are at least trilogy of Marvel
Yeah.
properties.
I mean, every time that you see something, in media today, we give a thanks to these shows and these properties. Also to the mangaka who created the series, because again, we wouldn't have Cyborg 009, Kikaider, or many other shows that inspired other, you know. So it has been a pleasure watching this show, regardless how much we're like, I don't have a bald spot, but believe you me, it's gotten a bit sensitive up here with how I've been scratching my noggin about what on earth are we doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny. Yeah, no, what's funny is that, like, I've been side hustling at, on Sunday nights after our shows, and I hooked up my tablet to the TVs at my job, so everyone was forced to watch these 4 episodes, and they're like, why does that ant have, like, the word Chicago written on its chest?
Man, I mean, here we've had some very interesting characters with the Government of Darkness. As we've said, the first part made sense.
Yeah.
And then
disrupt the Japanese economy by stealing money from a little kid.
Yeah, the first part made sense. And then afterwards, it's like, okay, now we have a plot. We have some goal to either stop or to obtain.
Yeah, and we have an end game.
Yeah,
where we collect multiple pieces of a MacGuffin item, which combined, the main villain will have infinite power to instigate a war.
Yeah,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like your lackeys, for the most part, are just the most insufferable, incompetent mothers ever to be brought on the screen, because although taken from the DNA of some of the world's greatest, again, how you see them is how you see them, but you cannot deny that they were great
in their infamy, in their being villains.
Yeah. I mean, you yourself, I'm like, well, they weren't really that smart as Kaiji.
Yeah. I believe it was a Dalek that said, "You Cybermen are only better than us in one way." Or what is that? You are better at dying.
Yeah. What would you rather deal with, a Dalek or a Cyberman?
Ooh, I mean, I think Cybermen are easier to deal with because Daleks have those little lasers, but a Cyberman, they actually need to actually tag for you to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also, now Cybermats and Cybermites, like, those might be a little bit nastier, but when it comes to Cybermen, just gotta play tag.
It all depends. But
so our monster this episode, in the first episode we're doing tonight, is Aunt Capone.
Man.
Yes, you see, this insector has a darn cigar in his mandibles. Say no.
Out of your mouth, the Aunt Capone. Seriously. Yeah. I was like, famously portrayed by Edward G., a very famous actor in the black and white gangster films,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Capone literally was the epitome of a gangster. 100%. Not what we think of a gangster is today.
Mm-hmm.
The man he was a businessman, but well, let's be honest, you wouldn't want to do business with him,
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing with Aunt Capone, I didn't really feel it.
Yeah, you see, out of all things Al Capone's most famous for is, believe it or not, tax dodging. That's not bootlegging, not not gang wars, and believe me, not impersonating police officers, because one of his tactics was having his own men disguised as police officers to have rival gangs turn their backs towards, turn to face to a wall for them to be searched, and then police to take out a standard issue Chicago PD Tommy gun and start blasting. But no, that's not what got Al Capone sent to Alcatraz. No, it's tax dodging. He was in for tax dodging.
Here's the thing about Capone that made him just a straight G. Is he was a businessman. He always said he was. He never went out and, when people said you're on Capone's turf, it wasn't him saying it, it was the people saying it.
Yeah.
You knew that, okay, if you're here, you got to respect Capone and his people, like you don't want any trouble. I'm like, no, of course not. All right, then just do your business and don't get into any business, and if you do, have respect, And that was the thing about, the mob, the gangsters back in the day. You walked in, you knew not to cause trouble. Not like today where, everyone's like being loud and throwing up symbols and whatnot. And, I'm like,
and then throwing cocktails at a Starbucks.
Yeah, it's, it's more tribal, more primitive of what you guys are doing. Capone never got caught. He got caught.
Yeah, literally, it's very likely that the reason why tax dodging is his reason for being locked up in Alcatraz is because tax dodging is the only felony they could pin on him.
Yeah. So Capone, he would be like, if he had problems with you, he would send his guys. Yeah. Or he would send his people. That's why it's like, let me get my people. You ever, like, The Godfather is a good example. Yeah. I won't do it. You ask me to kill someone that I don't know. And it's like,
never even called me Godfather.
Yeah, it's like, but then it's like, like, okay, I may know someone who could help you, and I will get in contact with them. But know this, that one day I may ask you for a favor. That may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but someday. And again, that was the same thing with Capone. You may have come to Capone and said to him, hey, Scarface, because that's where the name came from, Godfather, yep. But he didn't actually do it.
Yep.
And again, he went to his guy, who went to this guy, who knew this guy, who slept with this guy's sister, who knew a guy who, if I paid him this much amount of money from these people, he would go do it, and then it just be. But again, would you rat out the guy who paid you knowing who it is? There was a lot of people that got in jail, incarcerated for committing crimes. But to say, like, well, wait a minute, didn't Capone have a problem with this guy? He wasn't there.
Isn't there?
And this
plausible deniability.
Yeah, and this guy is not involved with him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I was right here growing some petunias with my goddaughter.
Yeah, so he only got caught because, again, the feds want their money. And he never did. But of course, comparing that Capone and the legend that he is compared to this Capone, which
he has a top hat and a what's it called? And a very thick vest. Looks like a life preserver. with navy camo on it, with the word Chicago written across it.
Yeah, if you didn't know where Capone was or where he lived, he was in Chicago. He was in Chicago,
where you have to sit down and use a fork to eat a pizza. What an insult!
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like New York, where you could just fold a slice with your bare hands, walk around to where you're minding your own business and getting those macromolecules or whatever you call eggheads in the lab are calling it.
I mean, it's kind of weird. Chicago. But again, I'm not getting into too much of the history, but Capone did rule Chicago. He was in New York, but you got to respect the way things were done back in the day. You know, New York already had its people, but Chicago, that's a totally different story.
Where everyone wore a suit instead of,
No,
lightly
they had
slid down trousers.
They had style back then.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Goodfellas?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Or Casino.
Oh, Casino's a really good movie.
Yeah, same two actors.
Yeah, really good. Go watch any Scorsese movie about the mob. I swear.
Tarantino, like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. It's like those were definitely good examples of.
Speaking of which, I just got my hands on this movie.
Oh, the Grindhouse movie?
Yeah. It's like, I do want to see every Tarantino movie, and I have not seen Death Proof or Hateful Eight yet, so I need to watch those two.
Death Proof was okay.
Yeah. All I know is that Royal Pain from Sky High dresses up as a cheerleader in that film, and I just want to see what that's all about.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But yes, we're dealing with the mob. A very tiny mob, but a mob nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, like, dude even chokes out Tachibana. I'm like, he's being very serious when even Tachibana gets choked out.
I was just waiting for like the whole like Reservoir Dogs of like, I'm about to take this bat and make you miss the black and blue. I know people have said that the actors and everything try to use like accents when they do the kaijin, but I'm like, if this is what they think an Italian
or Sicilian American
sounds like, I'm like, okay,
and what I was surprised not to see in this episode is a bunch of Cal Art students wearing tuxedos and using Tommy guns, because you think they would.
You would believe so, since they dressed up as the Third Reich and a bunch of Navajo Indians before,
and also wearing a bunch of frog tops from China.
Yeah, but no.
But speaking of cultural appropriation, let's cut away to a restaurant where you have this African dance going on, where every time I watch this episode, and mind you, I've only seen the episode 3 times, I can't help but wondering, are these Africans or Japanese people dressed up as Africans?
There were some, I would say Africans, but again, they were not like what they would do in Toho Godzilla or King Kong movies, where they would do Japanese people in a more darker shade. They were
because the thing is that in the 1970s globally, we're not exactly politically correcto.
I mean, I took a good look, because I even was like, oh, please do not tell me. But no, I looked at their faces. I looked at, everything. They are actually African.
Yeah.
They are actually.
It's just so rare to see so many in a Japanese project. You might see like 1 or 2. Like we got Oliver Johnson in Black Sun. We got that little girl from O's. But and of course we got Ben and John from Geats. But
Mr. J.
Yeah, and Mr. J.
We've had several black actors in.
But usually they're the only one from that project.
Yeah, but I think this was actually a place, because, again, the reason why they're here is because, it's a vacation episode. Did we not mention that? It is. The Tachibana Cafe and Rider Club decided, we're going to go to a nice resort and relax. but they get invited to the restaurant because apparently Aunt Capone has got a thing for African tribal dances or something.
Oddly enough.
Oddly enough.
So then you got a bunch of freaking Shocker soldiers also dressed up in African attire, and they're getting beat up by a dude dressed up in a very pale insect costume. Very not politically correct.
But also we did have that one performer like kind of
the one performer is the goat. Like he beats up a bunch of guys.
There was a African performer who jumped in and just started kicking the ass of these CalArts students because he saved the girls and Tachibana along with Kisuke, which again I'm like, Kisuke, you're a cyborg. How is this? How are you like struggle? There's a lot of moments here where I'm like, you do know you're mechanically enhanced, right? Yeah. Or did you forget?
A lot of people tend to forget. I mean, how many times did they try to poison him and failed?
I know. Yeah. How many times have they thrown him off a building or whatever? I'm like, you do know he's a cyborg, right?
Yeah, but then I had to ask the following question. Mr. Capone, could you please step out of the closet?
Yeah, what was he doing in the closet?
Was he just waiting there the whole time?
You trying to tell us something, Capone? Are you trying to be a little bit progressive in the 70s? You guys wouldn't come out until at least the 80s.
Also, on the subject of like vacationing and performing arts, you'll find that in Kamen Rider Stronger, they visit this one Hawaiian place very frequently.
It's kind of like one of those like locations that Toei uses a lot, especially now.
Yeah. And so it's like, and the thing is, it's not even like a base of operations like the Tachibana Cafe. It's more like, but they still go there a lot, which is interesting. But hey, good on you for having a cultural appreciation for Polynesians.
Very much so, especially since Japan and Hawaii are like this.
Yeah. Like every time a Pink Ranger retires, she always moves to Hawaii.
Yeah. For some reason they do.
Same with Yuka.
Well, Yuka again is Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But so again, not much happened in this episode because again, are they looking for
a fragment? Yes.
Yeah.
The woman has the fragment. How does she have it? It's not made clear because apparently she had fakes. They always have fakes, let's be honest.
I mean, as far as I know, so everyone has fakes. So you're telling me that Jean had already got it, and yet they just
when and how?
But
and you're not just going straight for Jean.
Yeah, why not go straight? Why the heck are you folks? Or do you? I mean, yeah, I know Intel wasn't. It's pretty much word of mouth that that they have it, but you don't know that they already gave it away. But
and again, if Jean presumably has like what 5 or 6 pieces by now. Why not burn them? Bare minimum. Heck, burn them and make bogus copies where it's like, it looks like the plans to the Death Star, but in actuality, it's only plans to the Lego Starkiller base.
Yeah, you wouldn't know if it were real or not. But again, that's not the plot here. It's not the plot.
Mm-hmm.
But so. Oh, and they also have the woman's daughter
hostage, but that happens like every episode. So
kind of like, Now again, did the government of darkness get the plans?
No, he just uses the vacuum hell wheel kick thing, Final Lotus and whatnot. And then King Dark gets so angry, he does something that he hasn't done in the previous 31 episodes. He actually stands up.
And causes an eruption.
Yeah, and his eyes look demented for once.
And he just kind of did the whole, Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat movie of like ripping through the ceiling of some mountain, and just be like doing like Shao Kahn, "You pathetic fools! I've come for your souls." And it's like, no,
I don't think so.
no,
Not for another 4 episodes.
no.
Yeah. So it's like, King Dark. He's like right there. He's standing in front of Kisuke. Like you have a tiny little doll of Kisuke facing a human-sized actor. He's like, I will get you, Kamen Rider X.
Oh my God, King Dark finally stood up. He's right to the end episode.
And then Suzuku.
End episode, and then we go into the preview, which the preview says the next episode, the Kamen Rider faces another Kaijin. I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
What?
But like,
what?
But like, King Dark was right there.
He just stood up. He literally did what Eisenhower did when they declared war. He stood up. And you know how hard it was for Eisenhower to stand up, especially back then? No. King Dark is standing. I'm like, oh man, it's about to go down. Next episode. I'm like, Another
like, oh, you're thinking, oh, this is gonna be a cliffhanger. Like it's gonna continue with this left off.
Nope. Because again, we get to the next episode, and this is, I think, it's our only female Kaijin
for this half season.
Yeah. Because I'm like, most of them have been all males. There have been like a sprinkle of ladies here and there, but
we mainly had Medusa.
We've had Medusa.
Ryoko kind of counts, not really, but
not really.
But like, even if you count Ryoko, we still only have 3. Maybe 4. Was that reptile thing from the first half?
Would
female?
I mean, well, maybe, yeah, I guess so. I guess you could. I mean, it was a female who was the reptile.
But what's really weird is how like Leech Dracula kind of looks like a woman in their civilian form, but they never made it clear.
They never made it clear if it was male or female. It was androgynous. But yeah. So again, we focused on a little girl. Why?
In a cheap out, not a cheap out, but like in a Chinese outfit with the bun heads. Like you got Usagi. It's the year of the rabbits. I think maybe
this year or that year.
I have no idea.
This year's the snake.
274.
74.
No, it was the year of the tiger, but close enough. 75 would have been the year of the rabbit. But
we'll get that to the next episode.
Yeah, but the point is, Bunhead.
Yeah, take that, Bunhead, or as the Deke version called Usagi Serena would say, meatball buns.
Meatball buns.
Yeah, or meatball head. It's like, well, I guess. I mean, they are pretty rare.
I feel like I'm not a fan of Bill Nye, but even in his cartoon, like in his TV show, when they were discussing Force, they at least had a skit where it's like you got a bogus Luke and Leia in a cafe. It's like, use the Force, Luke. That's right. A force is a push or pull. It will stay at rest unless you apply an unbalanced force to it. And he takes these 2 cinnamon rolls and puts them on Leia's head.
You took the honey buns. Why?
Yeah.
But no joke. I would say they look more like honey buns than they do cinnamon rolls. But
they're both swirly. So.
Yeah. But yes, what is this Kaijin? Because I was kind of scratching my head, but then I realized the episode actually tells us who this is.
Yeah, it's a centipede. Okay, so I can't remember her name, but basically they're supposed to be like four beautiful women from the Chinese Empire, and
I think this was the main one
and,
that
and this one in particular was particularly treacherous.
I think that one inspired the story. Well, I know that one of the women of the Chinese dynasty actually, if you believe, actually inspired what they would say about kitsune.
Yokihi.
Yeah. Well, it will be about kitsunes because there is in Japan there are 4 demons that are, the worst of the worst. One is Sutendoji, which we all know who that is. Not the Fate Stay Night one, people, although I will say that's a very cute look for him. And I don't know the other 2, but I know one is a fox spirit, which apparently it was so notorious that it left Japan, went to China, caused like a massive war and almost the fall of the Chinese, but then was repelled and sealed away in Japan. So I would be like, is that who this is? Because it kind of lines up of who this character or what history says this character did. Very tenacious, very beautiful, but very like, it's all about me and what I want. And if I want war because of this, then I want war. And I'm like, it sounds about right. Although I don't know too much about Chinese history, though.
Yeah. So it's about Yang Guifei, who was one of the 4 imperial consorts, and she was also known as Taizhen by the Taoist nuns.
Yeah. Now again, a courtesan. Please explain to the viewers what a courtesan is.
Basically, they're just human decorations to make the emperor look like a Chad, and sometimes they would serve hand and foot to the emperor and or the empress. And don't trust them. Just like how you can't trust imperial eunuchs from Code Geass.
Yeah, they were the servants, but they served in many, many, many ways. Because
very utilitarian.
Yeah, let's just say that if the Empress had a headache, well, you could put 2 and 2 together. I'm not saying that but you had to have been something special if the king or the emperor was like really fancying you. There were some courtesans that were more like dressy and prippy more than the queen.
Yeah.
So regardless, yes, we have a centipede version of that here, which very odd episode.
Yeah. Yeah, like all these Cal Art students are wearing variously colorful frog tops. Don't get me wrong, like if you practice Tai Chi, you would wear a frog top, but typically, it would usually be black and white, unless you went to a specific school where they would use a different color. But with that in mind, sticking to the theme, why don't they just wear all black frog tops? Here they just look silly.
Well, it's a Kamen Rider show, and the bad guys can't look cool now, can they? Especially in the Showa era.
Yeah. And so this little girl, she gets invited to Kisuke's place, but she's weirdly looking through a bunch of stuff where, you guessed it, she grows a pair of tusks.
Why? What is the deal with the Japanese people not pulling out their wisdom teeth?
It's like, you thought the British had dentistry issues.
You thought the Brits had gnarled teeth. The Japanese, well, they got tusks growing out of their mouths.
Yeah, so interesting change in pace. Centipede Yohiki is disguised as a child.
Yeah, the little girl is the Kaijin.
Wow, that's one
That's
of the
new.
best plot twists we've had all season.
That's new. The little
Yeah.
girl is not the victim. The little girl is not the one holding the plans. No, the little girl is the bad guy.
Wow, way to like take the repetition and turn it on its head. You really subvert our expectations.
You caught me off guard here, Kamen Rider. You really
Yeah.
did, because I was like, no way.
It's like this is something we can expect in Gov. This is something we can expect in Fies. Well, this is something we can expect in Agito.
Pretty much any Kamen Rider in the Heisei and Reiwa don't ever trust children. No, you shouldn't. But here is where it actually came up, and I was like, "Wow, you guys, why didn't you do this before?"
Yeah, can you imagine take the Beetle Lupin episode? Can you imagine Beetle Lupin disguise himself as a kid, try to make friends with those two boys, and then get them to go out swimming?
Hell, imagine the Starfish Hitler episode if Hitler was a little boy, like trying to learn how to swim or something. And then he would turn around and the mustache would appear on his face and he'd be like, "Oh, that's evil. Why would you do that?"
It would especially work on a beach because that's somewhere where you would naturally find Asteroida.
Yeah. So again, but no, they decided to use it here, which is actually very entertaining. But I kind of feel like watching the episode. Well, it's obvious the Centipede Kaijin kind of doesn't want to hurt Jean.
Yeah.
Like the Centipede Kaijin kind of caught feelings, or maybe Jean treated her well. That it's like, I don't really want to, because she kind of just like debates with King Dark about his plans.
Yeah. Yeah, even like King Dark is like, use your seductive powers to seduce Kisuke. But my lord, I'm disguised as a child. I don't care. Like, he probably never read Nabokov's novel. Yeah, but Stanley Kubrick does exist in this time period, though. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, go get those plans, or I'll get them myself.
We're not having the that disgusting, disturbing scene from The Orphan try to play out, you know?
Yeah.
Even though we know that the orphan was actually a woman with dwarfism.
Yeah, it's like low key, like low key. The Orphan is kind of like Nabokov's novel, but like age swapped.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, and afterwards it's like, well, again, not much happened because
it's the same routine we always get, you know. Like,
do we have
this time? Kisuke actually goes inside the cave and is greeted by a talking skull.
Ooh. Oh yeah, because he tried to save Chica and everyone else that was in the cave. But again, here's the thing. The talking skull looked like it just got ripped off of an amusement park ride. Why gas them? I mean, I get the point why you had the girls, but could you not have sealed the cave to keep Jean Kisuke in and try to, capture him and torture him? No, we have to gas him, but still it's not enough.
And then V3 shows up to save him.
Again. Oh, I love the part that, the skull asks Jean Kisuke where his plans are. And I'm like, we're still on that? Where are the plans? Why do we need the plans? What is it that you need for these plans? And he's like, they're in my bike. Oh yeah, I forgot you had a bike. The bike that was sentient and kind of alive, which we never really went on anything after that.
Yep. Yeah, you at this point, you'd think that the bike had another algorithmic clone of Kisuke's dad, but that would only mean that the bike would only blow itself up the moment he goes emo.
I feel sorry for the child. Your father would rather be dead than take care of you. Damn, that is tragic. What a complete jackass.
The bike has been with Gene Kisuke this whole time, and I'm guessing he's like, oh, you finally got over your dad, or finally got over being emo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because next thing you know, he calls for it, and it comes just ramming through solid bedrock like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Like,
oh, yeah.
And then, but who is on top of the bike? Who is this mysterious man who is there? It is none other than Shiro.
Yep.
And I'm like, Shiro, I'm hoping that you weren't riding the bike when it slammed through all that bedrock, because ouch.
Yeah. It's like imagine having Power Rangers Turbo, where like while TJ's trying his best to be the Red Ranger, like he would constantly have to be bailed out by Tommy. Unmorphed, but still constantly bailed out by Tommy. Thankfully, they didn't do that, but that's how it feels here.
Tommy would be the one that needs saving, okay? I mean, it would be anyone else saving Tommy, not Tommy doing the saving.
Oh no, I totally get that, but the reason why it would be Tommy doing the saving is because, like, here you have the legacy character constantly bailing out the marketing character.
Yeah,
but wait, there's more, because you better wait, because this one's a thriller.
I kind of thought to myself, because there was that point where they were like outside by the waterfall, and it's just like, did you really get the actor to come back, or is it someone in a wig? Because they didn't show his face for the longest time, and anytime that they had talked to him, they always looked back at the actor. Never saw the camera until the Scorpion Kaijin and the CalArts students showed up, and then we do. Oh, it is actually him. Yep. Okay, all right. Only to like, wait, what else? Oh, wait, they caught Tachibana.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, but then he gets rescued by Hayato Ichimonji. So
Mungo. Yeah,
so now we have 3 riders
again, which I'm like, cool, great. We can't get enough of you guys, but at the same time, again, Shiro, Kisuke, you guys are cyborgs and mechanically enhanced. I'm pretty sure you guys could jump up there and catch Tachibana.
Yeah. Even if she throws him off, you could catch him on the way. Unless you're going off of Invincible logic, where like when Invincible like tries to catch a person falling down, sheer impact of that person landing on his arms will cause their bodies to snap.
Yeah, no joke. Because I was just like, bro, did you all forget that you guys are so genetically enhanced that in fact, you don't need motorcycles, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like they made a whole point in the second episode where like, oh, Kisuke keeps accidentally crushing things, and then the episode resolved itself by having Kisuke like repair that kid's musical instrument. Yeah, I may be a cyborg, but I still value humanity.
Okay. Good for you, Kisuke. Good for you, Shiro. But yeah, we have the 3 riders show up, and they take out the centipede along with the CalArts students. But again, King Dark,
you gotta do the hell wheel kick thing, and it's like when you freeze frame. Like, it's not even like a doll of the 2 of them. Like, it's straight up a picture that they're rotating. Yeah, I'm amazed.
It's a matte painting of them like doing the circle thing. And I'm like, that's about right. But again, it's like this finishing move tosses the Kaijin. They're dizzy, and then finally they either fall over or collapse, and then they explode. They didn't die from impact. They died from just cartoon comedy hilarity.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that no one's fingers showed up. Like,
but
the spinning arts thing.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that's so cool, but you know what? We had to work with what we had. But
Yeah,
then,
it's like yeah, this is why I love Tokusatsu, because like even on the lowest of budgets, you still somehow
still make
make
it work, man. Again,
yeah.
the,
Like the very next scene, like you see like a little dolls of Nego and V3
yeah,
looking at the actor,
yeah,
like the suit actor of King Dark, which by the way, you're standing upright. Like, what do you plan on doing about it? You guys won't have a chance to appear together anymore after this. The following is our final battle. Ha!
yeah. But
You
again,
mean in 2 episodes?
yeah, after this episode, well, no, right as we're about to end, again, King Dark decides to stand up. I'm like, okay, you're the size of a kaiju. Do you bury yourself? Do you tunnel? Are you like a bear? Like how do you keep showing up in these mountain ranges? Because again,
the
he
words of the Thriller Killer Clowns are children small or just far away? And by the way, Astan really did die just now.
Shout outs to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
shout out
again,
to Bobby Moynihan.
we have the whole Mortal Kombat ending all over again, where it's just like he rips through the mountaintop with rocks and everything, and just like, you pathetic fools, I've come for your souls.
Yep.
And no, that's it. Like rocks and that, and then it's like, to be continued. Are we actually gonna have the final fight? No.
And the thing is, even if he leaves, it could have still worked, because you could have had a part 1 where they fight each other and they're getting their butt kicked, and then part 2, which will be the final episode, where they resolve to stand back up and fight against him, and then like we get that weird tunnel thing in the final episode.
But no. Again,
no.
King Dark just kind of disappears and reappears. For such a big behemoth, he really gets around.
Yeah.
But only to show us a preview of the next episode, which we are now dealing with a Roman tiger.
Yeah, tiger. Oh, freaking what's his name? Vega from Street Fighter. I like to fight with the clown.
Oh, come on.
I'm like a tiger. See, that's the only time I found Tom Middleditch to actually be funny. Yeah, I know. I sound like I'm throwing a lot of shade at a lot of people this episode, but I swear it's the government of darkness doing this to me.
Yeah, no. They brought out the worst in us in these last episodes, because you're teasing us about King Dark, and yet you're not giving us King Dark.
Yeah, it's like remember when we finished last week with episode 31? It's like, oh, King Dark will appear in the very next episode. He'll finally stand up. He even resolves, oh, I'm going to deal with it myself. And it's like, no.
No, not even. It's again a tease. It's like, what even are you? I mean, any Titans from Attack on Titan have more relevance than you do, King Dark.
Yeah, even the Cart Titan is more relevant.
Yeah, but again, there is reasons why. But next episode.
Yeah, so Tiger Nero, Nero was the emperor of Rome from 56 to 68. No. From 54 AD to 68 AD. So he was emperor for only 14 years. And let me tell you, he is one of the most despicable, most reviled Roman emperors ever.
He is a bastard. He was definitely a man that I think for the longest time before Adolf showed up, a lot of people were compared. Don't be Nero. Don't be because again, you would hear a lot of stories and TV and movies talk about
Nero,
and about Emperor Nero and his despicable ways. But a little event called the World
he had debauchery. He caused the Great Roman Fire.
Yeah. He was a pretty bad guy. He would tax the people ridiculously. It was never his fault that things weren't going his way. It was the people's fault. It was the governor's fault. It was his officers' fault. Talk about a person that never ever took command or would ever take the blame if something failed. You know? He was that guy. I am perfect. This was flawless. I'm like, how? Let us send 1,000 soldiers to the middle of nowhere during a war that should be defending my kingdom because we were told by some idiot that they're going to be sending a special attack over here, when in actuality he lied to me, but they're coming this way where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I believed him.
Mm-hmm.
This is your fault, Warren, because you should have known that was a lie. I never spoke to the guy. Well, you should have known. That was Nero.
Yeah, see, we could always talk about how much we hate Commodus, the son of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, fantastic emperor. If there was a Roman emperor to be the face of the highlights of the Roman Empire, which, let's be honest, the Roman Empire had a very checkered history, but one of the better parts of its history was Marcus Aurelius. He was a real go-getter. He did the grind, but his son, he based
any of these guys. No, it was Marcus.
Let's pretend for a moment that Donald Trump was in fact a self-made billionaire. No $1 million loans. I mean, he started off with a lemonade stand. Commodus would be Don Jr. He's just born into power. But even then, Commodus, as debaucherous as he is, and so poignantly portrayed by Lee Phoenix, even he cannot compare to the villainy that is Emperor Nero.
Yeah, Nero for decades, generations was seen as that guy. Yes. But then years later, Adolf came, and then he became the new that guy.
Well, I would say the Kaiser. No, not the Kaiser. What's his name? Alexander Robespierre would probably fall into that category, and then he would be replaced by Adolf Hitler.
There was a lot, but Nero was definitely that guy for decades, generations to come, and still kind of is. But regardless, he is now blended with a tiger.
Rawr.
Which kind of reminded me of Tiger Mask.
Yeah. See, Tiger Mask is the reason why I wish I had a wrestling-themed Kamen Rider who'd be played by what's his name? Tanahashi.
Did not Tanahashi be a Kamen Rider or was a rider?
No, but he was a villain in a movie.
Mm.
Yeah, he played the Robotsu guy for the Pac-Man movie.
Right.
Yeah, but we always have actors coming back for a completely different role. Shiro. So yeah, I see no problem with Tanahashi coming back as a full rider. Yeah, you could even call him Kamen Rider Neo Japan.
They can,
and his transformation belt will be a championship belt.
Man.
Yeah, but, and you would have a second rider named Kamen Rider Journeyman, and then you would have an evil rider named Kamen Rider Hero.
Yeah, one can hope. Reiwa's been coming up with some pretty interesting things.
Yeah, junk food. Yep.
But yeah, why on earth we have another Kaijin, and this is the second to last episode.
Yeah, it's like King Dark keeps talking big game. It's like this will be the following will be our final confrontation. It's like okay, so they're gonna fight each other now. No, okay, maybe by follow he meant I'm gonna retreat for a minute and then I'll fight you directly, right?
No,
No. And then
no.
you're just like, oh, I kidnapped Kisuke Jin by tricking him into like opening a briefcase full of gas, which I'm like, wait,
Ah,
hold on. It works this time, but not the half a dozen
when?
previous times?
Because again, we open up with
Mm.
being at Tachibana's cafe or bar, and then comes this whole message that they captured Kisuke Jin. I'm like, when did that happen? And it's like, yeah, we have him handcuffed and tied on top of this building. We're about to throw him off. And I'm like, again?
Yeah. So like Tachibana, if you want to see Kisuke again, you will send me all the pieces of the Death Star plan to me immediately. And wouldn't you know it, where did they keep it hidden? Oh yeah. I got a job to hurt. I got a job to hurt. I got a job to hurt. And by dirt, I mean coffee grinds.
Yeah. They've been
What's
keeping in the coffee.
I thought my coffee tasted a little Martian.
I got a prize in my coffee.
Yeah.
Oh. It's like, okay.
It's practically a Saturday morning cartoon.
Well,
except for real.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I'm like, you could tear the place apart. You could go. I'm like, there's no way they would ever suspect inside the coffee grounds.
Yeah,
the plans would be in there. It's like,
yeah.
No.
Also, I love how Tachibana's apron says U.S. Army.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of questionable fashion choices in this show. I mean, the girls have worn some things that I'm just like, what?
Right.
But yeah, even in modern Kamen Rider, sometimes look at Gen Boy, look at Gen Toko, of what he wore in Build.
Yeah, it's like we went to a hotel last night and we talked all night.
Yeah, I was just like, Gen, where did you get that shirt? I want it. But yeah, no, it's yeah. They tried to bargain for Gene Kisuke, and I'm like, Gene, you're being held by handcuffs and a rope. You're a cyborg, remember, son?
Yeah, just say Go-Go Gadget matchstick.
Just like, seriously, just kind of like, just stretch out your arms and snap them, because that's all. And I'm like, they're about to kill him. Oh no, but here comes Shiro.
Yeah, Shiro's always there to bail him out. Again, this is what I've been saying. Like the last batch of episodes, like the complete last quarter of the series is just Shiro bailing out Kisuke. Which, don't get me wrong, it's cool that Shiro's back. It's just, are you really going to do Kisuke dirty like that? It's like,
yeah, what the hell? I'm like, oh yeah, Kisuke is so inept. He has to have his senpai save him now. I'm like, wow.
Every episode.
Wow, guys. Wow.
It's like the exact opposite of Disney Star Wars, where it's like, oh, like the legacy characters need to be bailed out by the marketing characters. But here, the marketing characters being bailed out by the legacy characters.
And who's going to save the marketing characters? Well, the next marketing characters that we have, so no legacy characters are here to save them. They're just there for set decorations. We don't really need them. This is Disney's Star Wars.
We already sold the toys.
I'm like, fine, whatever. And of course, ensues the battle. Apparently, Tiger Neros can turn into tornadoes, and is very, very powerful, very strong. But I don't know. I don't see the Neros here. I don't see the villainy, the commanding and the demand. I mean, he should be as worse as Hitler, but not really.
Yeah, we see King Dark standing around. He's
Dark
doing a lot of standing around.
He's just standing there. He's like, good, Neros. I will make you the chief executive of my government police. I'm like, so you're not bringing back Apollo Geist? Okay. I wonder what Apollo Geist would say if he was alive. Probably be mad and shoot him, but I doubt it. But yeah, no. Again,
and then it's like we only have the real piece of the puzzle. But I'll tell you this, Tiger Nero, if you build the entire thing, I'll make you the chief of government of darkness. And by the way, seeing just the right eye of Tiger Nero is kind of funny because it's like, damn, how many layers does that mask even have?
Oh, you saw it too. I was also like, wait a minute. Because they showed a side of him which had the one eye, and it's like nothing here. But then they show him from the front, and now you see the full like.
Yeah.
Is this mask elevated from the person's face?
Like, yeah, it looks like it.
I'm like, doesn't really. I mean, I know that we don't really focus too much on human. I mean, look at Icarus, look at Achilles, but they look good. Why not Nero's? But yeah. I don't know. They were like, guys, we only got one more episode. Let's just wrap it up.
Let's wrap this one up. You know, it's like, like they're trying to build a device for the Ares system. And yeah, like freaking Nero spots that one of them's got a tracking device. So what does Nero do? He just stabs the guy. Oh my god, we finally got a villain following through on what he's based on would do in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Second place would be, beat a loop on trying to steal stuff. Or Chameleon Fantomas wearing a bunch of disguises, but other than those two, other than Lupin and Fantomas, the only two French villains. Oh yeah, there's also Napoleon. But the 20th century French characters, like across all the other ones, the only one that got right was Nero, and only because he stabbed a dude for being petty.
Yeah. But then Neros gets into the vacuum hell wheel fire again, and then blows up.
Yep. And and what happened? Oh yeah, and Hayato also shows up. They have a 3-way fight. We got the hell kick thing, and what happens with the Ares project? No one knows. And once the fight starts, we never see Project Ares ever again.
No, because it doesn't matter anymore. Nope. It doesn't fucking matter because why?
You think it would? They finally built it. Like,
yeah. Apparently, they built it without needing to see the plans because they still did it. Now King Dark has arisen again. I'm not even going to play the music this time. I'm not even going to do the voice this time.
No, because
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Like, sure. What are you going to do now? King Dark? You're just going to stand there menacingly and, again, tease us that you're going to do something?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care. Jerry.
But he actually starts moving.
Yeah.
And then next episode, and I'm like, wait, he starts moving? Like,
for real this time?
He didn't just bust through a wall like Kool-Aid and just be like, okay, and then he's gone. No, he's moving now.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought you needed the cell phone charger to make him move. No, not really.
Disappointing to the last.
So this whole plot, this whole thing, these plans that you guys, we actually did have it because we're the government of darkness. We funded this thing. We had this thing. Do you think that we didn't, like, I don't know, bug or check or maybe see like something, or maybe had another scientist create something similar to it?
Then what was the whole point of the last 9-ish episodes?
Cue the face palm.
Wait, no. I feel like that was a better way to describe how you and I feel.
No.
It's like when it came to Guy, it's because it just took that long. When it comes to X, it's just
this is why I was like, I said to you earlier, I legitimately feel that God is Smart Brain. Because what is Smart Brain? We don't know. What is God? I don't know. What was their plan? I don't know. What were they trying to do? I don't know. But what the thing that they were after, they always had it. Then what were we doing? Just wasting time. Then why did
I did not see you play with those dolls, sir.
Did you say anything? No, sir. I did not see you playing with your dolls again.
Good.
Oh yeah. Where's my Mr. Where's my Mr. Coffee?
Okay. So the thing about the government of darkness is life is frail, life is limited. So why don't you think about true life? Be smart. True life is your start.
Yeah, no, guys, my theory is that despite what may happen, the fragments of the government of darkness, like years later, decided to like form a conglomerate, which was called Smart Brain.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, a lot of the Orphanox, which are animal based, well, didn't God do that too? Have an organization of creatures that were animal based or based off of animals and taken like abilities or traits of certain things and put into these creatures? And also, what are they trying to accomplish? You would think the government of darkness, being like a somewhat remnant or maybe an inspiration of Shocker, would be just like that, but there has been nothing of the sort. So what if they continued to survive till the 2000s, maybe more, to the point that they still thrive today, but they just thrive as a conglomerate that I don't know what. They just exist.
And we can't make a joke about Smart Brain becoming Yggdrasil because unlike Yggdrasil, Smart Brain, freaking Smart Brain still exists.
Yggdrasil had a purpose.
Yeah.
Be as it may, it had a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Smart Brain doesn't. Smart Brain just kind of floats and just is there. The same with the government of darkness. Mm-hmm. There's really, like, if you were to ask anybody, what is Smart Brain? They don't know. Well, what is the government of darkness? Well, it's a government of evil. Like, is it? Because they really didn't do anything that really, hell, it got so bad in Fies that even the Japanese government got involved, like what was Smart Brain or what was happening with them. The Japanese government isn't even aware of the government of darkness.
Mm-hmm. Who?
Yeah. Huh? Shocker? Yes. Neo Shocker? Yes. The government of darkness. Who? Who's that?
Well, I'll tell you. Life is frail. Life is limited. So why don't you think about
That's what I mean. Because again, we did the Guy movie with Fies and X, and then there was the whole Paradise Regained and Lost, and how much of that was kind of reference to X. So I'm not surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if the fragments of God became like the Orphanox or became Smart Brain, because again, it seems within their MO of kidnapping people or taking children and doing these abominations.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always have that obligatory orphanage full of psychics.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
the Icarus episode.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it's like around Gods and Smart Brain are almost one and the same.
Yeah. Like freaking,
So
like freaking, for all we know, that like that's what's it called? That's that school for psychics that was infiltrated by Icarus. Like freaking, it became Ryusei schools, and then eventually a group of workers from that school would have this reunion where an armadillo orphanoch is going to show up and turn everyone into orphanochs.
yeah, makes sense to me because I'm like, there is no fucking way. I mean, how many people say that X and Phi's were almost a love letter to each other? Or yeah, like they're almost exactly. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. I see it. I really do. I really do see it. Not to mention, if you look at the Phi's gear and the Phi's suit compared to X, they almost similarly have the same color scheme. More or less. More or less.
I mean, X kind of looks like Kaisa because they both have an X on their bodies.
But again, the color scheme. I mean, you can look at any of the gears and be like, yeah, no, these are definitely heavily X inspired.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But again, that's just a theory. A
Toku theory.
Love you, Matt.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Now
let's just briefly go into like this final episode. You're thinking, oh, this is the final episode. We're gonna put all of our focus into.
I wish I could say so, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. I really wish we could have gone into it like we did with Kiva, with Gaim, with Phi's, but it's the Showa era, you know.
The entire first half of the episode involves Scorpion Geronimo Jr. because he has JR on his chest.
They brought back the Indians and no joke. Yeah. They brought them back. Why? I don't know why. We don't know. We just did. But we ended the last episode with King Dark standing there menacingly, walking and doing what he was doing now that he is able to do so.
There's a volcano eruption and everything.
And yet we had to bring in a kaijin for the first half of this episode to focus on.
Yeah. And then only later, in the second half, Kisuke finally shows up inside a cave. Inside a cave.
We have Shiro and Ningo. Both of them are there, but the other two riders are here because, well, they have to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, where the hell were you two is beyond me. You showed up. You did show up in episode 27. You can't even use what's it called? The movie wasn't canon excuse.
But yeah, we did it. But there's so Kisuke Jin gets on his flying motorcycle and flies straight into King Dark mouth.
Which is odd because in an earlier scene, Kisuke's body is a little under the size of King Dark's entire head. And yet now he can fit completely inside his mouth.
Yeah, he actually gives him King Dark a good punch in the eye, kind of like thrashing him about. It's like, okay,
yeah, and
right.
and then seeing like the dog get swallowed up through a tube. That's funny.
Oh yeah. That was like it's like a kid eating Pez. It's just so comedical, and I'm like, so I asked this question from the moment we saw him and all the way. But what exactly is King Dark? Like, what exactly is he? Again, I know we had the Black Cross for Gold Rangers. We had Shocker and Neo Shocker for the Kamen Riders. There was always like a big bad, like somebody that was the head of the organization. But the whole time, it's been this giant mechanical suit. this metal man that has been there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
with
so is
an
he-
odd amount of corridors. Like how are there this many corridors? Because again, keep in mind, he's about the size of the dude's head, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit smaller. So
I mean-
like he has to be like what, maybe maximum of 12 case tall. Yet somehow at the very next scene, the dude's the size of a building, and there's wait, hold on, I gotta do this the right way. Lanny Pator will hate me if I don't do this the right way. Always, pin of lava. Always.
there is, because again, I asked myself, I'm like, so is King Dark an AI? Is he a machine? Is he what exactly is King Dark? Because again, that made me just question more, because Kisuke is inside this thing, and there are AI, the Cal Arts students are running around in there. There's hallways, there's corridors. I'm like,
Booby
so
traps.
is this thing a robot? Is this thing a mecha? What? So is someone piloting it? Is there been someone inside this thing the whole time? What?
And it
What
turns
is-
out the person behind it was none other than the leader. And I don't mean the great leader of Shocker. I mean the leader from the Incredible Hulk. So says the leader.
Yeah.
Or as he's referred to in the 2008 film, Mr. Blue.
Yeah. What exactly is this thing?
I do not want to go into it, but Kisuke got stabbed by Scorpion Geronimo Jr.
Yeah, because the thing is that we see that there's this.
And it's going all the way through his chest.
It looks. You know what it looked like? It looked like Dr. Finkelstein from A Nightmare Before Christmas. You know?
I think that's the most PG way we could describe his appearance.
Yeah, because it's like pale with the bulbous head and just wires sticking out. Like, so wait, you're King Dark, this feeble, fragile. I feel like if I sneeze on you or even like touch you, you're gonna fall to pieces. I am the most evil, the most corrupt. I'm like, honey, I feel as though if you cough, you'll die.
Yeah, speaking of coughing and dying, Kisuke just like pulls out his ride-all and just shish kebabs both Geronimo Jr. and King Dark together.
What? I mean, this would have made more sense if it was Apollo Geist. Even though we brought him back, it would have made more sense if it was Apollo Geist. But Scorpion Geronimo.
Yeah.
Again, it's like they both die because again.
Yeah, if Apollo Geist was like the final baddie instead of Geronimo Jr. Like imagine he just like lobs his arm off, and before it has a chance to explode, he uses the pointy end and sticks it to him.
Yeah, but again,
finally, the sword bit actually was useful for once.
But again, it's like I would have imagined a big throwdown between the giant, which was King Dark, and because no, King Dark is not. This is just a robot, obviously. King Dark was this frail little white abomination that again wanted to take over the world. Why? Like
why indeed?
What was your story? What was King Dark's motivation for world conquest? There was nothing. If they had said like, "Oh, this was Gene's father," or blah blah blah, I'm like, well, that would have been pretty stupid. But I mean, there would have been something. But King Dark just exists.
He's just like, "Oh, I'm your father's best friend.
I am your father's brother's former
nephew's cousin's former roommate. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing, which is what you will soon be.
Yeah, I was just like, Okay, can we? I understand why X is iconic. I do, but this is kind of why. Well, other than Apollo Geist, no one ever talks about X's rogue gallery.
The only thing about X that people do talk about more than Apollo Geist is episode 26.
Well, yeah, that. But I'm like, we can't bring him back, no matter how hard.
It's like even Apollo Geist himself. I think people remember him more from Decade than they do from X.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's because no joke, ladies and gentlemen. Again, just like with most shows, the fact that the main guy dies, no matter how BS it is, apparently the giant robot that he sent out after
Just
he died
explodes. Like even the head lands near Mako and Chico.
Yeah, the head that's about their height, which I'm like, how did Kisuke Jean get in there then?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole damn robot just starts falling apart. I'm like, well, this is flimsy as hell. Like, this is the thing that we were scared of the most. I feel like, you know, Godzilla just sneezing at this thing would fall apart.
And you'd be right.
I'm just like, because again, it just kind of collapses. They go, whoa, and then blows up. And well, we think that Chika and Mako are like, with Tachibana are like, Kisuke Jin. We don't know if Kisuke survived, and we still don't know after they get back because we have to focus on them. But then there's a letter that was written to them, like,
I'm going away. Don't look for me.
Yeah, Gene, who delivered this letter? What? That just happened like 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
How did you write this letter? And it's like, don't look for me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fine, be a dick then. We worried about you. We care about you. But like, no, I got to go on my own journey. I have to. Why? The show's over. Sit down, have a cup of coffee, relax. It's over now. You and Shiro and Ningo can start that BMX riding club that you guys have been talking about.
You'd think.
But where are you going? We don't know. I have to go somewhere.
I have to ride off into the sunset like every writer does at the end of their season.
As always,
And then you get a flashback of like, he got shot by his by a bunch of CalArts students and betrayed by his girlfriend, and then like he was rebuilt into a cyborg, and he fought a bunch of monsters, and then he fought Apollo Geist, and then Anne Capone and Spider Bonaparte showed up, and we got all the other 5 riders. It's like, do we really need this flashback? But we saw the end credit scene afterwards anyways, so it's like that kind of made the whole clip show redundant.
And then the music.
Yeah. Ore wa X Rider. Yeah, and that's the end of the season.
That is it. That is it. Kamen Rider X.
Yeah.
Just as tradition is, he rides off into the sunset. Will we ever see him again?
Yes, we will.
No, we will.
Just not next season.
We totally will. We'll see him. Other than Takashi Hongo, this man, along with everyone else, iconic actor who returns as his role as the Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're finally done. I mean, it's a bit of an exaggeration. Like we did the whole season in just 8 segments, including the movie, which is less than half of what it took for Gaim.
Look, Gaim again, I loved how people were asking, like, especially during the break. I'm like, "Are you okay? Did you finally relax? Did you?" Yes, I did. There was just a lot to. There was a lot.
Unpack, yeah.
There was a lot, and I mean, when we finally got X, I was like, yeah, I was drained because of Guy. But like I said in the beginning of this episode, it has been a pleasure and an honor to be a part of this, to be a part of such a, where it all kind of began and where it all kind of solidified with Kamen Rider, like the cameos, the ridiculous monsters, the points, yes, it was the Showa era, but still it felt like I felt like a kid watching a Kamen Rider, just like I said, give me a bowl of cereal when I hear the narrator talking as he's introducing the episode or like introducing the preview. I was like, this is where it all started, guys. This is where it all was. We had obviously Ichigo, Nigo, V3, and Rider Man, but now here's X. Here's another one that, for better or for worse, it was actually entertaining. Very much so.
Yeah, I'll say this. This is definitely the like, if I was gonna have anyone watch a Showa season for the first time, this is probably the one I would have people watch, just because like, let's be honest, 1971 and even 79, they're both pretty damn long. Like 1971's the longest season with 98 freaking episodes. Like, and no amount of One Piece could save you from that. And 79, ironically, being a reboot and whatnot, is the second longest season with 54 episodes.
Yeah, look.
Yeah. After that, it's Wizard.
I mean, depending on the Kamen Rider itself, I mean, some of them are justified to go over 50. Some of them are not. As I said, Gaim should have ended an episode or two sooner.
Yeah. And it wouldn't even be a problem, since X-Aid would only have 45 episodes.
Yeah. Build kind of did also. I mean, Build was good. It could have removed a couple of episodes. The ending is fine, but the movies afterwards, which tried to build on like what happened, totally just messed up the continuity.
Yeah, and I know, like in the Heisei era, they always try to tease for stuff like that's gonna happen in the movie. But but then if you don't watch the movie, just move on to the next couple of episodes of the show. It's like, so what's all the stuff that was being teased? Like, case in point, episode, what was it, 45 of Gaim? Like, it's like, no, not Gaim, Build. It's like, oh, we're gonna have these 3 new governors for Sento, Toto, and Hokuto. But then it's like, but then they're never referenced again in the TV show. Why? Because they're building up for the movie, but nothing in the movie gets referenced. Like, Heisei Generation's Final, a very loose name for the movie, was referenced, but Be the One was not.
No. But regardless, I mean, at least with the Showa era, they're simple, they're straightforward. You're right. There's not much of a story, and if they are, it kind of just gets thrown out the window, But regardless, it was actually kind of interesting to see what they kind of pulled out. Like I said, if this series had finished with the Greek pantheon, it would have made sense.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have such great memes like Spider Bonaparte, Ant Capone, Starfish Hitler, or Lizard Viking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we wouldn't have these memes. It's like, did they really do? Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
It's entertaining. It really is like what, but you have to see it for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Would I recommend X to somebody? Not unless you've gone through, if you finally have got like had your feet wet in tokusatsu for like a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because that is the thing. It's an older show, and you know, it be damned, but current generations don't really focus a lot on the old shows because they look so corny and so hokey. But there's beauty in this.
Yeah, and then of course, naturally, Kamen Rider X would eventually be adapted in the United States as Kamen Rider V3.
Are you talking about that with the Master Rider?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am Rider Commander. I am Warrior Leader at your service. I am V3. I am Amazon. Strongman at your service. And I am Z-Cross.
Yeah, I actually did find that clip and I was like, what? But okay. You're V, I guess because you have the V on your helmet, that's why. But then again, you look at V3 who's there and he actually has the freaking number 3 on him. So I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's something that you have to watch if you've seen any tokusatsu, and if you've seen like old Showa movies, like the Godzilla movies, any of the Toho movies, you know what you're getting yourself into with this. Because again, just like those movies, there's not really a lot of continuity that like could be transferred over, even within a show like this. The only continuity we have is the Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would give X.
So let's start with the episodes. What would you rate the episodes individually?
I gave them all 5s pretty much because they've just been, again, episodic, and again, the like in our last review, the last half just rinsed and repeated over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Do they have the plans? No. Where are the plans? We don't know. Oh, look, it's Gene Keisuke. He must have the plans. Of course
Let's
he does.
kidnap him.
And then we fail at kidnapping him, and we end up dying, and King Dark gets mad that he starts to move, but not really. It's like, again.
Maybe someone from Mighty Morphin Season 2 took a lot of notes from these last couple of episodes of Kamen Rider X. So how do we make Serpentary like super menacing, but also not able to just destroy everyone right away? Oh yeah, let's take the King Dark route.
Maybe, because again, that made no sense. Why didn't they use this thing? You could have destroyed the Earth and everything with Serpentera by, we can't. Why not? It's an electric car. It needs a while to charge. It needs to charge up. So I'm like,
doesn't even have the amount of energy needed just to like fly to Earth from the moon.
Yeah, well, again, early versions of electric cars. We wouldn't have someone with an evil bad guy with a Megazord until like Divatox.
Yeah, she had Megazords. She had like
Divatox had Megazords. Yeah, more better than Serpentera.
Yeah, and I think after that we wouldn't really get any more Megazords for the bad guys until Ninja Storm.
Yeah, so take that for what you will.
Ninja Storm had some pretty cool evil Megazords, especially like the second version of the Zergain Megazord, where it has its own lightning mode.
But yeah, I think in everything, final score for X would have to be a 6.5.
I would make it an even 7 because for me it's like, first half was actually pretty good. Second half just fizzled.
It was
horribly.
The second part is meme worthy.
Yeah, it's meme worthy, but it just fizzled out so spectacularly. And so like you gotta like bounce those up. But the thing is, the show as a whole is such a gas because of how ridiculous it is. That like it's definitely something I need to be able to recommend people as like their first Heisei season. No, not Heisei, Showa season. And again, it's also really short because like imagine having this kind of writing, but for 50 episodes. Where it's like, oh yeah, let's get another 15 episodes of the same thing. Or it's like, oh, monsters looking for the Death Star plans, but they're not the correct plans, so we have to go back. And then Hidden Lotus. Yeah. Although, on the other hand, if after King Dark dies, like they bring back Apollo Guts for one final stint, 15 episodes, then maybe that would justify having 50 episodes.
No. Even Apollo Geist. Apollo Geist being like one of the main focal points, but even he couldn't make this expand. Hell, he couldn't even expand his return.
I would have thought only like 4 episodes.
Yeah, I would have thought him back. He would have been all the way to the end of the show, but no, he was only there for 4 episodes, and he was incompetent in those 4 episodes.
Yeah, and they're not even consecutive episodes.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so if they had brought back Apollo Geist and they're like, you know, like, oh, there's going to be another 20 episodes. I'm like, oh, please no. Please no.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's talk about the monsters of the day. Final thoughts on the monsters of the day.
A very interesting armada you definitely have there, Government of Darkness. There was a theme, but then later on you're kind of like doing the monster of the week formula of like, well, I mean, Zoo Ranger didn't really do it. I know the Power Rangers did, where they kind of like made the monster seem just like whatever Finster had lying around, you know, like just oh, I'm gonna put this on this, and we're gonna do this, and where in actuality he already had the creatures created and just out of his book, and you know, like I don't think Abba Ranger did that. Abba Ranger was like, let's take a teddy bear and put this and this and make a monster out of these things.
So for Abba Ranger, basically they combined an animal, a plant, and a machine.
Yeah,
that's the theme. Although I'm not really sure like how much the teddy bear mushroom ATM thing would hold in court, just because mushroom is not a plant; it's a fungus.
But again, that's kind of what the Government of Darkness was doing, because they went with the Greek pantheon, which but then later on they just started fusing, you know, DNA of conquerors and bad guys throughout history with random animals. You know, just okay.
Yeah, yeah. I have to say, I think the costumes for the Greek pantheon had definitely better designs than the ones from the historical baddies.
Achilles, Ulysses,
and I want
Neptune. Hydra not so much, but I mean kind of there. Icarus.
Yeah, that's pretty much
you know, like there were many good ideas.
Yeah.
As for later on, again, other than like Starfish Hitler, Beetle Lupin, and all, I guess Tiger Neros. Again, 3 out of all of those compared to the Greek pantheon, only those 3 I could say were like the better looking, the better like in terms of plans and thoughts and plot. You know, at least the Greek pantheon had their their inspirations to lead them in their episodes, you know?
Yeah.
As for what the historical baddies of furry,
It's like only Lupin, Fantomas, and Nero follow through on like what their original characters actually did.
yeah, compared to like the Pantheon, which they were going by the rules of their of what they were. And it's like, well, yeah, no, I mean, that's why I say, you know, like the Pantheon was good. It's just that, well, the second part is more meme worthy, just of what they decided.
Yeah, I think on paper, like the idea of combining historical baddies with an animal sounds like an interesting idea, but the execution was just really poorly done. And again, as much as I hate saying positive things about Kamen Rider Ghost, like it handled the whole historical character thing a lot better than this did. Mind you, like we didn't have the bad guys become historical characters. The historical characters became power-ups for the main character, but even then they had personalities when they would possess another person's body.
Yeah.
That would associate down to the point where like this girl gets possessed by freaking Harry Houdini, and he's like, huh, I don't believe in ghosts. There's a rational explanation for everything, even though he himself is a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. It's quirky and fun, but it's true to Houdini as a person because, you know, he was the original Scooby Gang. But yeah, no, like I have to say, like, and again, Nero, Fantomas, and Lupin were the only three that followed through on the characteristics. But yeah, no, there weren't a lot of good costumes, and a lot of them did feel like, okay, we'll make a rubber suit top, but then just use leotards for the legs, and like that just felt really, really uninspired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the 70s, so
yeah, and again, I think one of the worst parts of it is the fact that we wasted half of the final episode on Geronimo Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't even get like, I don't know, Grizzly Stalin as the final villain.
Yeah, I know you didn't use bears, you didn't use like a horse
gorilla.
or anything, like nothing. It was just all right, fine.
Imagine if Alexander the Great was combined with a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he was heavy on cavalry combat. That would have worked. Like, he could have been a centaur and everything. Okay, so Apollo Geist and King Dark, final thoughts.
Apollo Geist kind of was like even though there was no secondary rider, he kind of fit the motif of a secondary rider, you know?
Right, yeah.
But he was like the bad secondary rider, kind of what like Kikaider and Hikaider would later make a thing. It was kind of like also maybe an inspiration for Proto Man and Mega Man, you know? There was the actual one, and then there was one that was just, you know, evil for the sake of evil, or maybe misunderstood.
Or just like hijacked by Dr. Wily.
Yeah.
Depends what version you look at.
Or, you know, and again, for King Dark, I mean, like I said, there's always got to be a big bad. And again, the Showa era was, you know, but they had their shares of bad guys that were. King Dark, just for like the longest time, was like, are you not going to do anything? Are you just going to sit there? Are you even a machine? Is there like, you know, what exactly, you know, what exactly is King Dark? Because they never really gave him a backstory or said like, you know, he just is. King Dark just is.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
To find out that he's just this pathetic, disheveled, crippled husk of a thing, it kind of took away from it, because we've seen like, you know, it's like the Wizard of Oz, you know, where the flaming floating head and everything, and then it's just like,
It's just
Do
another
not
dude.
mind the man behind the curtain. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
what?
like to the credit, like the final boss from Stronger is like a giant golem, but at least like the person controlling the golem is literally a giant brain. It's like
Yeah,
it's like a live action Metroid before Metroid
I
was a
don't
thing.
think what was it? What was it?
Gunza
What?
Army.
Sun Vulcan had an enemy, had the Machine Empire, but the Machine Empire was run by like a giant brain or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad guys. I was like, when you tell me it's like, like a Doctor Who episode. Well, the Daleks are the Daleks, but then you have Darvaros who made the Daleks. Yeah, but Darvaros is dangerous by himself. I mean, imagine if he died, then would all the Daleks die? No, the Daleks are the Daleks.
Yeah. And
Wouldn't
also
matter.
I think Davros and King Dark came out around the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so
Clearly but
but
clearly Davros was better executed.
it's more better executed. If you had shown something like Darvaros in the beginning and then say, I am making my true body, a true force, and it's King Dark, I'm like, all right. But to hide it and then to show it, I mean, if it was a giant like brain, like Mother Brain from Metroid,
Yeah.
not the Captain N one, but that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
know,
no, yeah. No.
but-
Or better yet, the one from Super Metroid.
Yeah, like
Yeah, when she
something like
gets a
that.
full
Like,
mechanical body
okay,
with the hyper beam. Yeah.
that I would be okay, but this thing, I'm like, that this is what we've been. I mean, I'm not saying you should hurt him because I feel bad if you did, but really, this is what's been the pain in our side for all this time.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay, so not a lot of supporting characters, so we should be able to finish this really quick. Mako and Chico, final thoughts.
You mean Scooby and Shaggy?
Basically.
You know what? I love them. I love them for who they were. I mean, yeah, you're right. Sometimes but you gotta have that. I mean, look, Keitaro and Mari were that. Mai and Rat and everyone else, and Gaim was like that. The same thing goes with my wife Rika and everyone at the cafe, along with
even the little doggo.
Yeah, even the little dog. Sento and Banjo, along with Misora and the Master were also like that. You can't get mad at these characters. They're here to lighten up the mood and try to. I mean, again, as I said, it's like, bro, it's a total sausage fest if there isn't a cute girl in here. Can you imagine if we?
Yeah, it's just Kisuke and Tachibana the whole time.
Yeah, imagine we did Gaim fully. And there was no just
no Yoko,
no Yoko. It was just the boys. It was just them. It was just
I feel like I could smell the sweat from here.
Yeah, no, it's even with build. It would just be if there was no Misora, then we wouldn't have had Takami's or Kazumi's greatest moments in the show. Same thing goes with Otoya and God, I forgot her name. His mother.
And Yuri.
Yuri and again, Wataru's mom.
Oh, Maya.
We would not have those great moments. We need to have these characters there, despite oh my God, there's so Rika. I know my wife Rika, my wife Shizuka. I'm like, I know, I get it, but she had to have been there to kind of liven things up, because if not, it would just be straight up emo.
Bridge the human gap for what's
Yeah, it would be emo. It would be boring. It's the same thing also with Takumi and Mari. Like, you needed Mari there. You needed Mari to kind of give that nudge and that kind of thing, even though sometimes you kind of question.
You even needed Yuka.
Yeah, why are they here? Why are they here? They're there for our entertainment, people.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want anything to happen to Mako or Chico. I don't want anything to happen to them, but we lost the twins, so we need a lady here.
Which brings us to the next subject, the twins.
Oy, yay, yay. Again, who said that this was her fiance? Gene Kisuke was even like, what? Really? I'm engaged? I didn't know that. I mean, I know that we were friends, but it's like, and the whole thing of like, is she bad? Is she not? I was like, oh, she's going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. She's going to die. She's totally going to die. Totally going to die. But to find out that she was also a cyborg, not the sister, but Ryoko, I'm like, when it's kind of like that Austin Powers bit where it's like, wait, you mean she was a robot this whole time? Yeah. When did this happen? She always was. Even in the beginning, yes. So the whole, yes. And even, yes.
Wait just a tick. That means I'm single again. Randy!
Yeah. I'm just like, okay. Okay. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Again, those two you could have removed out and had Chico and Mako there the whole time. It wouldn't have made a difference. The whole fact of having Kisuke Jin like have a lover or whatever, that really didn't do anything to the plot. So they could have been removed. Chico and Mako could have still been there from the beginning. So.
All right. So let's get the legacy characters in. Tachibana, Ichimonji, and Kazami.
It's always good to see past characters come back. Again, I said it in the Gaim soccer movie when we saw Tsubasa and Kaido making a cameo in that movie. Whether you knew it or not, it was them. And it's like, even seeing that makes me feel like all warm inside. I'm like, hey, it's these guys. How have you guys been? Seeing, Shiro, Nigo, especially Tachibana.
Yeah.
Especially Tachibana. Tachibana, the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's always wonderful to see him in any Toko project. He was literally a living icon even till his death. Being in Ultraman, Kamen Rider, Godzilla, Sentai, like the man just, and he's kind of like also the sort for a professor, because you ever notice in most medias when you see a man like, smoking a pipe or whatever and have his hair slicked back and whatnot, like, that's Tachibana. That's Tachibana you're referencing right there.
Yep.
It's always good to see them.
Yeah, like the thing about the writers coming back, it's like, well, where were you in the last 26 episodes?
Yeah.
But it's like, I do find it interesting that, like, I know that like in the movie you get all 5 of them, but here it's like but through the show, like you literally only have 2 out of 4. So you just have Nigo and Sango. It's like, this is an interesting combination. You'd think it would just be like, V3 and Riderman or Ichigo and Nigo. But the fact that it's just Nigo and V3 does add a little bit of interest to it, because like we're like exploring different dynamics. What doesn't help that it's almost just Shiro the entire time until like, the last 3 episodes we do get Ichimonji to come back for
there must have been something. There must have been something going on, because again, I mean, they are actors, so maybe there was something. But again, later on, these two would be part of a little show called Super Sentai, and they would actually be very huge characters in those shows as well.
Yeah. So and especially given the fact that in later seasons, the Shiro's actor would not be available. You'd think wouldn't it be interesting if in Amazon we get Ichigo and Rider Man show up and just Ichigo and Rider Man because that would be another interesting dynamic to explore because I don't think Rider Man and Ichigo ever had any screen time together in V3. I need to rewatch it. So it's like, that would be an interesting thing to deal with. Plus, it builds up on the continuity of Amazon being the same universe because honestly, like, the only connection Amazon would have to the first 3 seasons until later is just, Tachibana happens to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that said, I love that Tachibana is here to connect the first 5 seasons together. It's a darn shame he won't stick around beyond that, but with them some breaks.
The man definitely left his mark.
Yeah. Definitely one of my favorite parts, especially how much it was like, that's it. I had enough of Shocker. I've had enough of Gel Shocker. I had enough of Destron. That's it. If I'm going out fighting.
Tachibana is up there with Alphonse Pierre and many others that they could take on grunts and monsters with no henshin device. But at the same time, I think it's time that they retire and go to a nice little beachfront property in Cabo or something. You've done enough, Tachibana Sensei. Thank you.
All right, so last one. Kisuke Jin himself.
Oh, boy. Can we play that clip that we haven't played since episode 1?
Yes. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Very clever. Now, who has my father? Uh-oh. Someone had some daddy issues. Nothing could be my father from the truth. Who? You said my father. No, I didn't. How? Did not. Shabba! For me, this is a dad issue. Dad issue! Dead dad! Dead be dead! Oh. Daddy didn't love me!
That sums it up.
Yeah.
That sums it up. There's nothing else to say about Kisuke Jin other than that because...
Yeah, after episode 2, he's basically Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, no joke. He literally is. I'm just like... Although, again, just like Takumi, not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm like, you do know you have superhuman strength and speed, Kisuke Jin.
Yeah, but even then, I would still say at least he has more personality than certain other writers in the era, who I won't say who. We'll get to them when we get to them.
Yep.
But
again, he's a legend, so we must give him a thumbs up.
Yep. Yep. But at the end of the day, the season was
mid.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to watch, just like I did, like Mystery Science 3000, and just kind of like with a couple of robots and a bag of popcorn, be like, I just realized that this show that we're watching is kind of strange, It's kind of goofy. Like, yeah, but that's why we watch it.
Yeah. So for me, it's a 7 for you. 6, I believe.
5. It's a 6.5. That's as probably as I can go because just on principles, I'm not saying it's bad, but just on principles of storytelling, like some people could get really tired of this really quick.
Yeah. See, while one had a pacing issue, the other had a repetition issue.
Yeah.
So take me as I come because I can't stay long.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the comments, guys. Let's see what you guys had to say. Yay, we finished our first ever Showa season. Yay, just 9 more to go. Ant Capone might not be the least PC design, but it was indeed the silliest.
Just having his jaw kind of protruding out this way with the cigar, I'm just like, you look like the goon.
Yeah. Although one thing I would say is even sillier is the tusks.
Well, I mean, ants do have mandibles, so I guess.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the human characters. Tusks everywhere. Even in the centipede episodes, it could just like no, we had to have one more go at the tusks.
Yeah.
Now I will face you myself right after another 2 or 3 kaiji and take a whack at it. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. See, that's what I mean. If an average viewer or just someone who just they would just be nitpicking the shit. Like, no, I'm not watching anymore. I'm not watching anymore because again, he got up and where is he? It's like I know. But that's why we watch to see if I can get up.
Think of it this way: I'm grooming you. Within the next 7 years, you will have been one of the few people in the world to say, "I've watched every season of Kamen Rider ever." But you will do it better than me because you will have also seen all the specials and movies. Me, I'm getting there because I've watched every season. I have not watched all the movies. All right, next one. I can't wait to see what the next season is.
I wonder what Neil Kuhn will have to say.
All right. Which brings us to, if it lands on another show a season, which one would you want it to land on?
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at our little chart just to review it. All right, and we're going to get rid of this right here. All right, so we finished X, Spies, Kiva, Gaim, and Build. So our available options are, as far as the show is concerned, is 71 V3, Amazon, Super One, and Black. So those are our 5 choices.
Let's see here. Oh. Black might be probably the best bet because I mean, well, we don't even we're not including any of the movies or specials in this one, right?
We're not including the 90s ones. We're just going to do the 90s movies like once we do like the entire Showa era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd probably say I know it sounds blasphemous, but I do not want to do Ichigo to go through like an entire year of like Kamen Rider and whatnot. And if you think the episodes will go long, we'd have to do like what? Like almost 8-10 episodes.
It's like theoretically, if we did 10 episodes at a time, then we'd be able to like do it in 10 weeks. Wait, 12 weeks because there's 2 movies. But
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not. Even though that, I mean, get us in a better time than that.
Yeah, like maybe like a better arc. And also there's the arc breaks because like first arc kind of breaks at like episode 13 when we replace Ichigo with Nigo.
Yeah.
So it's like, so even then it's like either we do like, I don't know, 5-4-4 or 7-6, or we have to straight up do 13 in one fell swoop. And I know you don't want to do it. I don't have the attention span for that.
No, neither do I.
I mean, I'd be down for Amazon. It's like Super One has only 48 episodes, which doesn't feel like a lot compared to Skyrider's 54. Because keep in mind, when I first watched the show era, I watched all of it in order. But also Super One is not the most fun. I have to say the best episode is literally the Halloween episode, and that's in the second half. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Amazon just because it's 24 episodes, it's simple, it's sweet, and Daisuke is actually a fun character.
Yeah, no, Amazon or Black would probably if it did land on a show up, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So, what season do you want it to be if it landed on a Heisei season?
You know what? At this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, it does not matter. If it's a later Heisei, well, if it's Heisei in general, I'm like, well, everything has its ups and downs, obviously.
I'll say this: if it ends up being Hibiki or Ghost, the only silver lining would be that we would get those two out of the way. And again, I don't hate the first 2 trimesters of Hibiki. I just hate the third trimester because well, if you've seen my old IG stories from back in 2018, 2019, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so are we ready to
we are ready.
Determinatum our destinium. All right, here we go. We got the preset, share screen. Wheel of Destiny. Alrighty, so we got 19 entries on our wheel and an advertisement for some kind of lotion or whatever, but we'll ignore that for now.
Fall on the lotion.
No, because there's the advertisement. We're not sponsored, just so you know. We're not sponsored. We're just sharing the screen. So are you guys ready? Let's hope we don't have any glitches, but here's hoping.
One moment. Oh boy.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
What?
Wow. Wow.
Don't say it. Don't say it. One moment. I can't look.
See, you jinxed it.
Oh no!
You jinxed it right there,
man. You gotta be kidding me.
Well, silver lining, getting it out of the way early.
No. Is there no way around this?
No, we can't use there was a glitch excuse. Our next season.
What was, let's see what there was between Xade and what was in between? V3.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh yay.
Yep. We have to do the original.
Again, I said no, and I was hoping for either Amazon or Black.
I was hoping for maybe I don't know, Agito, Deno, O's. And again, goes just to get it out of the way.
Well, we are so defeated right now.
It's like we had a season with pacing issues. Then we had a season with repetition issues. Now it's the Mac Daddy Wano arc of this podcast.
Well, we get more Tachibana.
Yeah, more Tachibana and more Ichimonji.
But man, I was just like, I will take anything, but
I think of the 19 available seasons, I think that's the one all of us wanted to least just because of the sheer volume.
Well, luckily it's all on Tubi, so it can.
Yes, it is legally watchable. Yes.
So,
he can,
ladies and gentlemen who are
this
watching
is
today,
actually our first legally watchable season.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, I was even freaking like 0-1. I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
but we already did 0-1. I mean, we might like do a redo after we do the entire first two generations because COVID was a thing.
well,
But when we were
Yeah.
doing 0-1, it wasn't available yet on
no,
Blu-ray.
but now it is.
Now it
So,
is.
ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this now, later on tomorrow, or anytime in the week, prepare yourselves. Go to your Tubi's account. They are free.
It's free.
And
Just with commercials.
if you wish to join us on our journey to this very first Kamen Rider, then you can, because we're doing this.
I wish we could
are doing this.
I wish we could just go back and watch Shin Kamen Rider and talk about the manga all over again instead of doing this.
Oh, yeah. Hell, can we do Shin Kamen Rider instead of this?
I mean, we already did Shin Kamen Rider though.
It technically is Kamen Rider.
Yeah, but again, we already did do that one a few years ago. Yep, to 2023, about a week after it came out in U.S. theaters.
Well, stay tuned. Come watch with us. If you wish to also, hell, share it with everyone. We are diving into the first Kamen Rider ever. So please, bring everyone. Bring the kids. Bring the fans. Bring the non-fans. Bring those weebs with you who only strictly watch anime, because this is it. The number one Kamen Rider, Ichigo. We're doing it.
We're doing
totally
it. We're doing it. Yeah. No, it's like, oh, you thought, oh, we're gonna do like 4 seasons like we did last year. And the first season was so easy. It's only 35 episodes. No. This takes up the volume of 2 whole seasons, so we'd be lucky just to get 3 by New Year's. X, Ichigo, and whatever's after that.
Yeah, we'll be here for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Unless we're gonna do the hard volume and just do 10 episodes at a time. Arcs be damned, but I know that isn't us. No, it's not. So we're gonna stretch it a little bit. But good news is we are gonna take a small break in the coming weeks because, I mean, just in general, this guy's gonna need that decompression. He's gonna need that extra time just to prepare for that season.
We need to start binging.
Yeah, you got to have that pre-binge, release. But now that we all know, here we are. Also, quick thank you to Dragon Projects for letting us use their cover of setup for the outro. Usually, we just use other people's covers and just cite them appropriately. But first episode of X, they actually came to us and gave us their link. So thank you for saving us the trouble of having to come find you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Project Dragons. And be sure to go to their YouTube channel and give them a subscribe. Tell them that we sent you. Also, our main, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. On Mondays, we are doing Ultraman X, and we are almost done with that too, by the way. We only have 4 more episodes in a movie. Wednesdays, we got Kamen Rider Gob. We just did an episode of Kamen Rider Gob just before we're doing our finale for Kamen Rider X. Then we have, on Thursdays, we are starting number 1 Sentai, Go Jujer. We're doing the first episode tomorrow as of the time of this recording. And finally, on Sundays, not this Sunday, but in subsequent Sundays, we will be doing Kamen Rider, the 1971 series. All 98 episodes plus the 2 movies. No, we're not doing the retread of episode 13 in the theatrical cut because that's, we're just not doing theatrical cuts of TV episodes. We're doing movies. And there's 2 of them. So yeah, that's it. And of course, check out our PMC interviews. We uploaded 4 of them this past week, including Angie Diaz and Gareth Ewan. Definitely check those out, and check out our sister show, The Buttery Show. And if you want to follow our personal content, you can find us
just on IG. Thank you, everyone, for your messages and your prayers.
Yeah, and me on Instagram at Boken_Kawato, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKawato. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please have a safe rest of your week. We love you guys. Thank you for all the love and support, and we hope you continue to support us in the coming weeks, months, and years. And yeah, also Friday we're doing the MMPR Last Ranger parody 7 movie on Tubi, so check that out as well, because you guys have been a lovely audience and you've given us the substantial subscribers on YouTube to make that project possible. And our next subscriber goal on YouTube will be 3K. We are still deciding what we're going to do for that. And for Facebook, our subscriber goal is 10K, so definitely follow us on Facebook as well. So that's 2 different opportunities for additional projects. And with that said, guys, stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Good night, guys.